Gloria. I'm Gloria, and today I am making a sponge cake, perfect for the tres leches cake. But first things first, my apron is on, my hands are clean, and I am ready to show you my ingredients. I am ready to start with my dry ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and start with my flour. To this, I'm gonna add my sugar, just half of the sugar. And then I am going to start adding my baking powder. And we're gonna whisk it. We wanna make sure that everything incorporates completely. Okay, this is done. Now we're gonna continue with our eggs. We're gonna separate the yolk, and this is the way I do it. The eggs have to be room temperature. This is very, very important. Do not ever bake with your eggs really cold, your milk. Everything that you use when you are baking, they need to be room temperature. The butter, the milk, the eggs. Okay, I'm gonna separate my yolks. And I'm going to continue. I have 12 eggs. I know it sounds a lot, but this is what's going to give it such a delicious and spongy bread. So let me continue. And let's see how this bread comes out. Okay, this is my last egg. I have completely separated the whites and the yolks. I am going to continue with my dry ingredients. To this, I am going to add my vanilla extract to my yolks. And I am going to add the vegetable oil. We want to go ahead and mix it completely, incorporate it completely, so we could add it to our dry ingredients. This part is very important because we add it and then we're going to mix it completely until everything is nice and incorporated. After we have completely incorporated, it takes time. It's going to be a little thick, but it's okay. This is the way you have to do it. This is the way I do it here at home, and my sponge cake comes out really beautifully, really spongy. Once you mix it completely and everything is nice and incorporated, it's gonna be a little thick, just a little. Look at this. This is the way it should be. It should look the same way. Okay, this is done. I'm gonna put on my stand mixer, my whites, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix them with the wire whisk for about, I would say, like 7-8 minutes. To this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cream tart. That's going to really help to make it nice and thick and frothy. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, start it, and I'll see you back in about 8 minutes. Once it started getting nice and thick, that's when we're going to start adding our sugar. Slowly, gentle. You're going to be adding you're going to start mixing it one more time, and you're going to add your sugar, but slowly. We want to incorporate the sugar nice and slow so the egg whites get nice and shiny and stiff. If you put the sugar all at once, you're going to deflate your egg whites. So let's do it slow. Let's mix it one more time. Okay, this is done. I'm going to add my mixture of my egg whites, and I'm going to incorporate it slowly with my wire whisk. We want to do this procedure just the way I'm doing it. Look, nice and slow strokes. And you pick it up and you let it run down from your wire whisk. Just like this. I know that you would say it takes a long time, but believe me, my friends, the sponge cake needs to be done slowly. Take your time. When you're doing this kind of sponge cake, just take your time, because at the end, you're really going to say, you know something, this was really worth it. Slowly, we're going to be incorporating the egg whites a little bit at a time. I try to do it add it at least 3 to 4 times, until I'm completely done. Once the mixture feels nice and fluffy, like this, look, it starts incorporating perfectly. Look at this. The color is already changing. It takes time. Just make sure that you do it slowly, and you'll see that the volume starts getting much thicker, and it looks really, really beautifully. Now I'm going to add, you could go ahead right now and add all the mixture into the egg whites, or just continue adding the egg whites to the mixture. Look how thick this looks. What I'm going to do at this point is just add the whole mixture to the egg whites. And we're going to make sure that we scrape everything off. We want to make sure that we leave our bowl nice and clean. And we're going to continue doing the same procedure. Slowly. Don't do it quick. Take your time. This is going to incorporate perfectly. When you're doing this procedure, it usually takes about 5 minutes, to incorporate the whole mixture with the egg whites. You'll start seeing that the mixture starts slowly starting to get yellow. This is done, my friends. Look at this. This is nice and done. This is how it should look. Okay, now that everything is nice and incorporated, I'm going to start with my baking dish, because this is done, my friends. This is done. Okay, let's start with our baking dish. I'm going to add a little bit of Crisco right on the bottom of my baking dish. That's why I have a glove on. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit right on the bottom, on the sides of the bowl. We want to make sure that everything is nice and coated, so that our sponge cake will not stick to the bottom or to the sides. On the bottom of the baking dish, what I'm going to do is add parchment paper just on the bottom. If you want, you could add on the sides. But to tell you the truth, for me, it just works perfectly if I just add the parchment paper right on the bottom. I don't like to do the edges, because they really do not stick on the edges. They actually separate when they're cooking in the oven. My oven is preheated to 350 Fahrenheit, and they're gonna go in there for about 40 to 45 minutes. Every oven is different. When you put a toothpick in the center of the sponge cake and it comes out clean, that means that it's done. Look at this. I only try to cover the bottom with the parchment paper, and I actually don't use the parchment paper on the sides. We just want to make sure that the parchment paper is nice and sticked right on the bottom, okay? This is done. I'm going to start adding my mixture, and I'm going to try and add the same amount to each baking dish, so that all the sponge cakes come out almost the same size. I'm just going to eyeball it and make sure that I try to get almost the same amount on every baking dish. Like I told you, my oven has been preheated to 350, and they're going to go approximately to 40-45 minutes in the oven, and then I'll show you when I'm bringing them out of the oven. But these are done. Just make sure you tap them just a little bit on the center on your counter, so that the little bubbles come up and disappear. Okay, I'm taking them out of the oven. Look how beautiful they look. Look at this. They are nice and hot. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to put a little toothpick right in the center, so that you see how the edge is separated from the baking dish. That's why I don't like to put parchment paper on the sides, because they actually separate. Look at the toothpicks, nice and clean. That means that the sponge cake is well done. This is done. I'm going to flip them over so they start getting nice and cool. And you see the brown, the crispiness on the top of every sponge cake. What I'm going to do, Slowly, I'm gonna be removing the little crispiness on the top. This one still has the little parchment paper and all the nice crispy that you see on the top. With the knife, you could remove it very easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and just scrape it slowly, slowly until I remove all the skin that has been created right on the top of the sponge cake. And believe me, it's not too hard. It's just a little bit. You just put just a little bit of pressure and everything comes out perfectly. Look at this. And you could do it now when it's hot because that's much more easier for you to remove it. Look how easy it was. I'm going to continue with the other two sponge cakes and then this is done. I want to show you from close up how they look. Look at this, they're nice and spongy. I'm gonna actually start pushing on them so you could see how spongy they are. I have removed the crispiness on the top, but look at this. Look how spongy, and it goes back right really quick. Look at this. Look at this one right here, look. Oh my God, this is really spongy. I know that you guys are going to love it. Okay. I am so ready to start and letting them cool down. My friends, I am done with the sponge bread. Look at this. It's nice and spongy. It's perfect for the tres leches cake. This just came out amazing. My house smells delicious. If you liked and loved my recipe, please don't forget to subscribe, give me thumbs up, share my video on social media so more people get to know Cooking with Gloria. Don't forget to push the notification bell so every time I make a new recipe, yes, my friends, you are notified. Before I say I see you soon, I wish you nothing but the best. Peace and love. And I will stay preparing my cake of tres leches.